Hello, good after, good afternoon. Welcome. This is day 383, I believe, of the occupation outside Rockford City Hall. And today, I just want to talk about is do a little recap of what we had did yesterday, and that was to go to and to attend the what do they call it? The body camera community meeting, I believe. That was a phrase that they used, and it was over at Katie's Cup yesterday. And there's another meeting today at 6:30 at Beth Eden Methodist Church, and there's another one tomorrow as well. The one tonight is at 6:30, and I believe the other one tomorrow is at 6:30 as well. But we attended this meeting because I feel like one of the things I feel like happens so often is when there's an officer-involved shooting, or where there's a case of excessive use of force, or there's anything which requires the police department to do some type of press conference. I feel like the proper questions aren't even being asked in that room. The proper things that are being done the proper things that are being done and questions are being asked is nobody's asking those questions. Nobody's saying anything like that would challenge these people, challenge the police department, challenge the chief, challenge any of these people talking about these issues. So that really was probably the main reason which I wanted to attend this meeting, public meeting, community meeting. It was a public meeting. And again, there's another one tonight at 6:30 at Beth Eden Methodist Church, and another one tomorrow at 6:30 as well. So during this meeting, it was a very, very odd meeting. I haven't been in anything like this since. There hasn't really been anything like this since. If you would remember the, what did they call them last year? Community relations? No. Something they had at D1. They had like 3 separate hearing meetings. And that's probably the only time I can remember being in something like this. But we attended this, and it was very peculiar meeting. The first thing that really stood out to me is how difficult they made it seem for officers to start wearing body cameras. How difficult. Listening sessions. Was it listening sessions outside at D1? Was that in the fall of D1 during City Market? I believe it was September, mid-September. That's what I'm referring to. But we attended this meeting, and they went over the top, ran through every little thing that officers have to do when they wear body cameras. Randy Burke, who for a while was a short intern police chief, he ran through this thing of a cop just getting out of a car. So one of the first big takeaways is how ridiculous they made it seem that this is such a challenge. It's so difficult for these officers to remember these things, and in reality, all they have to do is press a button. Press a button. That's all they have to do. And they did say that in order to turn off that button, or turn off that camera, you would have to hold that same button for, I believe it is 3 seconds. But they also said that the first question I asked was, is every police officer going to be wearing this, or is special teams like the scope team, ununiformed officers going to be wearing this? And they said yes. Then the next question I asked was, earlier this year, we seen the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies release body camera footage of the murder of Faustin Gray Tigo. And I asked if the Rockford Police Department in the future, when there is an officer-involved shooting, if they'd be willing to do that same thing. Because I remember Jay Hanley standing up there and saying that the Winnebago County Sheriffs did that on their own accord, that they did not ask him for approval, that he might not have gave them approval. That's what he said. That if you're to ask Jay Hanley, that's his story. that the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies did it on their own. So I asked the same question to the chief, Carla Red. The Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies did this. Would you be willing to do the same thing, to release these videos of officer-involved shootings, release these videos of excessive force? Would you be willing to release these videos to the public? Because what do it matter that you got body cameras if you just keeping that footage for yourself? That's the same as shooting Tyrus Jones and you keeping the dash cam footage to yourself. That's the same as beating Denzel Duvant and not releasing the security camera footage around the area to the public. That's the same as the different shootings and the different cases of everyday use of force that aren't released to the public. What's the point? How is that transparent if is Carla Red that's going to be able to decide if the video gets released to the public or not? That's not transparent at all. It's a blatant lie. It's a blatant misrepresentation of what progress is. Saying that, look, we got body cameras, but we get to control when they're the officer gets almost full discretion about when they're on and when they're off, and we get control of whether that video camera footage gets released to the public or not. How is that transparent in any way? How is that good in any way? Really, it just seems like just more millions of dollars poured into the police department, and nothing really would change. Nothing substantial would change. If you was to ask them, they say that an officer will be punished for not having his body camera on, for forgetting, for anything like that. But really, last year during City Market 20, Winnebago County Sheriff's deputies had body cameras on. At times, we saw these police officers take the body cameras off, put in their pocket, stand around so their hands would cover their body cameras, take them off, but they'd somehow be lost. One of the deputies just straight up lost his. Just lost his. His was gone, never to be recovered. If they're to be believed. So now we have to ask ourselves, my fault, I want to bring up one more thing. The Metro enforcement agents that murdered Jovan Fresco was also wearing body cameras. And it's been 5 years since that happened. 5 years. Metro enforcement agents, a security force, I don't know what the fuck they're called. Metro enforcement agents have been wearing these for 5 years. The last time they shot, I don't believe it's the last time they shot somebody, but Jovan Fresco, when they murdered him 5 years ago, that court case is still going on, and that body camera footage that body camera footage has not been released. So why should we have any hope? Why should we have any thoughts of progress when what we have seen from the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies is the same old thing? What we have seen from the Metro enforcement agencies is the exact same thing. No longer can we in Rockford buy into these misguided notions of progress, these misguided lies, these blatant misleading lies of progress. Progress will come not from the people that work in this building. Progress will come not from the people who walk around carrying badges. Progress will come not from the people who walk around every day using some type of use of force. Not from the people who shoot and kill people twice a year. Progress will come from the people. Progress will come from the community. Progress will come from neighborhoods. Progress is not body cameras, especially when it's Rockford Police Department officers that are going to say and tell what's on that body camera footage. It's Rockford Police Department officers that are going to decide whether that body camera footage is released. It's Rockford Police Department officers that are going to decide if that camera is even on. They get to decide if that camera is even on. And what we have seen is no officer has been fired for any type of shooting. No officer has been fired for any type of use of force. Police officers have been, the one police officer who has been charged for excessive force had their charges dropped. And a different point I want to make is some of these cases have been caught on camera from community members. Some of these cases, incidences of excessive use of force have been caught on surveillance cameras. And just like the attacks, the heinous actions that took place on May 30th, there's a lot of civilian cameras footage. It's a lot of normal community member footage of that day. And not one officer was fired. So why would I ever have the belief that because a Rockford Police Department is supposed to have a camera on, why would I believe that would lead to any more transparency, any more accountability on their behalf? So, exactly. Hold on. Okay. Exactly. I agree 100% with that comment. I mean, one thing he also said when the body camera footage was released is he was not trying to pay attention, trying to think about whether they followed policy, he was not concerned about whether they followed policy. And what we have seen just in this year and a half is it doesn't matter what they're supposed to do. Something as trivial as giving your name and your badge number, they refuse to do that. So why would I think that they're getting ready to go and beat somebody's ass, they're getting ready to pull out their gun, they're getting ready to tase somebody, before they would do that, they would turn on their body camera? Why would I think that? And plus, hold on. One thing I want to get out there from this meeting is Carla Red would say that no video can be deleted until 7 days. No video can be deleted for 7 days, I believe. That's a 7. Was it 7 days? A week. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't got my notebook around. 7 days. Okay, that's what she said. 7 days. No video can be released until 7 days. And if an officer wants that video released, then Carla Red will get to decide if that video gets to be released or not. So why would I think that somebody who has tried to shoot somebody off duty will hold these officers accountable? Why would I think that an officer who has been set... My fault. Just to properly explain that, a video cannot be deleted until 7 days. So for 7 days, it for sure cannot be deleted is what they say. But then afterwards, Carla Red can get to decide if the video gets deleted or not. If somebody wants that video deleted. The example that I gave, just to be fully transparent, my fault, maybe I didn't explain that properly. The example that they had gave is if an officer accidentally had his body camera on when he used a bathroom or something like that, then he would have to go up the chain of command, talk to his supervisor, and that video cannot be deleted until 7 days. Then after that, Carla Red would review it, other supervisor would review it, and they would decide together if that video footage could be deleted or not. That's the example that they had given. That's the example they had given. But one of the hold on. So let me go back, just to talk about body cameras in general. One of the things that we have done in this year and a half is to attend court to anybody who has been arrested during a protest, anybody who's charges them from a protest. And it's been a lot of court dates. And one of the most profound cases that I'll never forget was not from anybody who was arrested during a protest, but it was from a regular civilian, normal, everyday community member. And what he was asking for was for his... During this incident, it was alleged some actions had taken place, and the Rockford Police Department had dash camera footage of this. The Winnebago County Sheriff deputies was there as well. They had dash camera and body camera footage of this. And I believe they said the fire department was there as well. And they was supposed to have some type of video footage of this as well. So that's 3 agencies that had body camera footage of this. And this case had already been going on for months. And they refused, all 3 agencies outright refuse to turn over any footage of that case, any footage of that incident. What we have seen from May 30th is cases where excessive force was used, incidents where excessive force was used, they have outright refused to release that body camera footage, outright refused to release other videos that they have from that area. And the same thing from City Market. Some of the videos that I have seen from City Market last year, City Market 20, is the body camera footage they turned over was an hour of just them talking, not the actual incidents, not the actual cases, not the actual force being documented, but just an hour of just pointless, utterly pointless footage. That's the type of footage that's being turned over. So again, why would I have any belief that the Rockford Police Department getting body cameras would be any different from the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies getting body cameras? And why would I believe that both of them having body cameras would be any different from the Metro Enforcement agents having body cameras? One thing that has said that maybe the last thing that has said that was really profound to me was hold on. Go back to my question. The question I had asked was the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies released body camera footage. Would the Rockford Police Department be willing to release that same body camera footage of officer-involved shootings? And what Carla Red has said basically was a fancy way, really extended way of saying no. What she has said was they would talk to Jen Hanley and they would talk to their legal department and they would go through all these hoops and they would see if that body camera footage should be released. Well, really, and again, the question was, the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies released on their own accord, or the Rockford Police Department released on their own accord. So the answer to that question, despite her extended answer, was no. They would not be willing to release that body camera footage to the public. So again, there is another meeting tomorrow. Another meeting tonight at 6:30. I believe. I'm trying to. Beth Eden United. I don't want to offend anybody's church. Beth Eden United Methodist Church, I believe, is what it's called. On Huffman, by the West, I believe. I believe that's what it is. At 6:30. And I'm not sure where the other one is tomorrow. But the other one's at 6:30 as well. And these are community meetings. These are open to the public. And I believe it's important to really challenge these people and try to... Oh. It's starting to get windy. I'm trying to make sure this camera don't fall. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good for now. But that is my thought process on these body cameras. Why would I think that they'd be any different from what we have seen in Rockford and the greater Winnebago County area for these past 5 years or so? No, Winnebago County Sheriff deputies openly, blatantly took off their body cameras and put them in their pocket. Why would I think that a Rockford Police Department officer would be in trouble for doing that exact same thing? Why would I believe that an officer before these are officers who use some type of use of force thousands of times per year. So am I really going to believe that every incident is going to be recorded? Am I really going to believe that if they was to beat somebody like Denzel Duvant and they have body cameras, would I truly believe that they would release that body camera footage to the public? The answer is no. Would I really believe that they would release that body camera footage to the court? That answer is questionable in of itself. And again, this is... while we're talking about this, we have to highlight the dash camera footage that they have not released. We have to talk about the security camera footage of Denzel Duvant's beating they have not released. All these incidences that have been caught on camera from their cameras, no footage has been released. And again, it's these officers who get to decide if that camera is recording, and it's these officers who get to decide if that camera footage is released to the public. This is just another lie of progress. This is another illusion of progress. And again, no longer can we as Rockford citizens, no longer can we as Rockford community members feed in and buy into these lies of progress. We have to keep it real, keep it 100, and call out lies when we see them. Call out illusions as we see them. So this is day 383. We'll try to have some type of live at the hearing tonight, but day 383, the struggle continues.